What if I told you that owning just 0.1 Bitcoin, yes, a tenth of one coin, might be your only real shot at financial freedom in the next decade? Not 10 Bitcoin, not a full coin, just 0.1 BTC. And no, this isn't clickbait. In a world of rising inflation, broken fiat currencies, and increasing wealth gaps, Bitcoin is quietly becoming the greatest equalizer. But the window is closing, and fast. In this video, I will walk you through why 0.1 BTC matters more than most people realize, how it could be enough to change one's life, and what makes Bitcoin different from every asset in human history. And finally, why missing this chance might mean staying stuck forever. So watch until the end, because if you're skeptical, this video might completely change your view on money, freedom and the future. A quick note, this is not financial advice. I'm not here to tell you what to buy. I'm just showing you how I think about Bitcoin, why I believe it's a long-term power, and what I'm personally doing. Always do your own research and never invest more than you're willing to lose. Let's break down the big idea. Why would just 0.1 BTC, around $12,000 as of August 2025, be such a big deal? Because of one word: scarcity. There will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin. Ever. But here's the kicker. Roughly 4 million are lost forever. Governments, institutions, ETFs and whales already hold a large chunk. The global population 8 billion plus and rising. So what's happening when more people want a piece, but there's less and less availability? You get a supply shock. And in that world, owning even 0.1 BTC means you're statistically in the top 2% of holders worldwide. It's not about getting rich overnight. It's about owning a piece of the hardest money humanity has ever seen. So let's zoom out. Why is Bitcoin even important? Because most of us, whether we realize it or not, are not free. We are trapped in a system where money loses value every year. Wages don't keep up with inflation. Debt keeps rising and owning asset is getting harder and harder by the day. Bitcoin flips the script. It gives you sovereignty. No government controls it. Inflation resistance, fixed supply, no endless printing. Borderless value, take it anywhere, no questions asked. Unseizable wealth. If you hold your keys, it's yours, period. Bitcoin doesn't just offer financial growth. It offers escape. Escape from a broke fiat system. Escape from wage slavery. Escape from the system that was never built to make you rich. And the price of that escape ticket right now is 0.1 BTC. Now, let's run the numbers. An historical example. In 2013, 1 BTC was around $100. By 2021, it peaked 69k. That's a 690x increase. Now, let's say Bitcoin doesn't do anything crazy like that again. And let's say it grows at a modest 29% a year, like Michael Saylor predicts. Where would that put us by 2035? Roughly $2 million per coin. That means 0.1 BTC is $200,000. And that's just if Bitcoin stays on trend. If it becomes the next global reserve asset, or if fiat currencies collapse faster than expected, it could go much higher, much higher. Let's be clear, no one can guarantee these numbers. But here is what is guaranteed. Your dollar will lose purchasing power over time. Most assets are increasingly out of reach. Bitcoin remains one of the only accessible, truly scarce global assets. So ask yourself, if you had the chance to buy 12,000 worth of the digital real estate in 1995, knowing it could be worth hundreds of thousands or even millions in the future, would you take it? because that's exactly what 0.1 BTC is today, and that's my true opinion and what I believe. One of the biggest lies people tell themselves is this: I will buy a Bitcoin when I can afford a full coin. And here's the truth: you don't need a full Bitcoin, you just need exposure, because in a hyper Bitcoinized world, owning 0.1 BTC could be like owning a mansion in Manhattan or beachfront property in Malibu. Scarce, valuable, and status defining. But the problem is mental anchoring. We are wired to think in whole numbers, but Bitcoin is divisible in 100 million sets. So 0.1 BTC is 10 million sets. You're not holding a fraction. You're holding millions of the hardest money units in history. Think about that. Now, here is the brutal truth. Most people watching this, they won't buy 0.1 BTC. Not because they can't afford it, but because they are distracted, skeptical, or waiting for permission. And that's how the system wins. It convinces you to stay in fiat, to trust banks, to keep working for a depreciating money, and to believe Bitcoin is too late. Meanwhile, those who ignore the noise and quietly stack are positioning themselves for generational change. Now, look around. Smart money is buying. Governments are waking up. ETFs are scooping up supply. And yet, retail is sleeping, with the fear index still having moderate levels. That's your opportunity. Now, let me share my personal plan. Right now, Bitcoin is around $120k dollars. That means 0.1 BTC is $12,000. May sound a lot, but let's break it down. Option 1, weekly dollar cost average, $150 a week for 18 months. That will bring us to 12k. That's 0.1 BTC with a simple auto buy. Option 2, monthly stacking. $1,000 a month is 0.1 BTC in 1 year. Of course, there are a lot of different things that can impact it, like the price, but that's an assumption for now. Option 3, lump sum. If you get a bonus, side hustle income, or a windfall, I convert a portion of that to sats. But the key is, I treat 0.1 BTC as a milestone. Not it's a target for profit, but a threshold for freedom. It's my insurance policy, my way out, my long-term bet on better money system. And once I hit the 0.1 BTC goal, I don't stop, I reassess. But getting there is step 1. Now, let's zoom out even further. Imagine you're living in Argentina, Lebanon or Turkey. Your local currency is collapsing right in front of you. Inflation is eating your savings alive. Banks are closing, freezing accounts, or limiting withdrawals. In that world, just owning 0.1 BTC could be the difference between survival or devastation. Bitcoin isn't just a speculative asset. It's becoming a global lifeline. And as the world gets more chaotic, more people will seek shelter in it. But here's the kicker. They will be arriving after the supply is mostly gone. So the ones who get in now, who buy even a fraction of a coin, are early. Let's go deeper. What does 0.1 BTC mean to a family, a future family? Imagine this. One holds 0.1 BTC today. They pass it down. The children inherit it in a world where Bitcoin is $5 million per coin. Suddenly, they're sitting on $500,000 of ultra sound money. No inheritance tax, no lawyers, no paperwork, just a string of private keys and a legacy of sovereignty. That's the legacy Bitcoin offers. And you don't need to be a millionaire to leave that legacy. You just need conviction and 0.1 BTC. So let's address the elephant in the room. I will wait for the dip. Bad idea in my opinion. And here's why. Bitcoin doesn't dip the way people expect. When it drops, emotions take over. Someone can freeze. You might wait for months or years and miss the entire run. In bull markets, dips are shallow and short. By the time your buy order triggers, the price has already moved on. So instead of waiting, I dollar cost average. I buy every week, regardless of the price. Because in 2035, I won't care if I bought at 115k or 130k. I will care that I own 0.1 BTC. Time in the market beats timing the market, especially with Bitcoin. So here is the core message. Owning 0.1 BTC might not make you a billionaire, but it could be enough to buy your financial freedom, hedge against systematic collapse, preserve your wealth, protect your family, and give you a seat at the future economic table. Most people will ignore it. They'll laugh, they'll wait, and when Bitcoin hits 500k or 1 million, they'll say, I should have. Don't be that person. Be the one who acted and did research.